Hey, I figured I would start today with a little bit of a gratitude checklist. Uh, yeah, just kind of feeling one of those moods, so I figure let's do that. That'd be a great start to the day. Got to get the lights on first, and I guess that's where I will start with the checklist. The lights are on in the studio. Secondly, man, just the studio itself, I feel perpetually and incredibly fortunate to just have such an amazing big space that I can get my work done. And I've even got like a spray booth, and I can get big things done in there too. um, yeah, the studio is probably one of the biggest things that I'm grateful for, because I think about how far I've come from living at home and using my closet as a little studio space, just kind of painting on my desk and doing little pieces, and then kind of graduating from there to my first 4 by 5 foot painting, and um, moving it into my room, and then just kind of ditching my bed. I remember ditching my bed, buying a futon, and having my room just kind of start to slowly become a studio. And I think that was kind of like the first real sacrifice I made to prioritize my painting. And then I remember 2014, I moved out, um, and I moved downtown to this little studio apartment. And again, I just kind of had a little roll on the floor, and the rest of the space was just dedicated workspace, and it was incredible. And fast forward, 9, 10 years, whatever, I've got a separate space now, and it's freaking incredible, man. It's big, and it's got storage, and it's got everything that I could possibly need or want. I got a 3D printer for myself some time ago as well. I've got some awesome filament. I've got sculpture supplies. I've got a spray gun. I've got this awesome compressor, and I've got this really great exhaust system that I use. And the other thing that it just kind of shows me is how much I've prioritized investing in my work and my studio over basically everything else. I moved my couch here, so that I could spend more time in the studio, and obviously that makes home life a little bit less comfortable, but that's kind of what I wanted. I don't really want to be comfortable at home. I want to be comfortable here, and I want to spend as much time as I can in the studio, because this place gives me everything. Um, what else, man? I mean, there's just so much, but I can go on about the studio forever, and it makes me feel very proud that I've just always invested in this space and my work, and it's probably, yeah, one of the things in this world that I'm the most proud of. I've got my health too, and to an increasingly large degree. I've started investing more in my health, and just changing the way that I eat and the way that I sleep. Today I got up, I'm trying a new sleep schedule, just getting up earlier, um, getting things done earlier, to the gym, to trying to get my videos out before 1 a.m., or 12. And that's something that I'm also very grateful for. I'm also grateful for my own temperament as an artist. I've just got so many different things that I do, man, and it makes me so happy. I've got my big abstract here that I've been working on for over a year. I've got the Hump Day paintings. I've got all of these different cat paintings that I've been making that are really cool. I've got the new tennis series that's in progress. I've got the emojis that I worked on. I've got the big emoji paintings that got done. Man, I do weird experiments too, things that I'm working from imagination, things that I'm just kind of concocting. Um, sculpture. Like there's just so much. There's so much that I do, and I feel like, you know, and even landscapes too now, like working landscapes, and um, there's just so much different stuff, man, and like it makes me happy that I don't feel bound, you know, by anything. You know, I don't feel the need to limit myself in any direction. And, you know, that was something that was taught to me by my mom and other artists, you know, that have come before me. You know, namely like Richard Prince is somebody who I very much look up to as an artist. And, you know, he's somebody I'm very grateful for. I've never met him, probably never will, you know, but he's somebody who I've taken a lot of cues from, and I've gotten indirect permission to just kind of do whatever I want. And, you know, it's kind of one of the cool roles that I feel that artists play, you know, once they're established to get to the next generation, is that they give you permission to increasingly push the envelope. And that's a really beautiful thing, and something that I hope over time these videos can do for somebody else. You know, I think that by the time, you know, I'm an old man and just uploading, there's just going to be an incredible, robust library of like the answer to everything that an artist, every question that an artist could possibly have, from the technical to the conceptual to like the emotional and like, you know, spiritual. Like just, you know, I feel like this is going to be a good reference, you know, and it's very much a part of like my goal to build it. And, you know, right now it's in its infancy, and it could, you know, if it stays in this stage, that would be fine, you know, because I get a lot of love, and it's really nice. But yeah, man, gratitude checklist. Today's workload, we're starting on the next piece. I'm very excited about it. We're using a nice green that's reminiscent of the first Practice Makes Perfect. I've got a meeting with the gallery tomorrow where we're going to be talking about titles, you know, or the show title. We're going to be talking about just specifics and stuff like that, and just kind of getting things, you know, the final stages in order. And I'm, you know, extremely excited about that. And yeah, I'm, you know, also extremely grateful for the gallery, man. Like they've been, you know, the most supportive people that I've had, like in terms of, well, gallery, you know, because I've worked with a couple, you know, throughout the years, but these guys have, you know, and every gallery has been amazing, but just the degree to which these guys have stuck with me through difficulties and, you know, controversy and things like that is, you know, it makes me feel like we've got a lifetime partnership, you know, and that's probably one of the larger things that I'm grateful for, next to the studio, you know, is because, you know, in a large degree, they make the studio possible. You know, I know that it's my work, etc., but, you know, they really gave me a platform and a chance, you know, and they continually do so, and I'm so grateful for them. So starting the day with this attitude is going to be amazing, and I'm so looking forward to today's painting. So let's get into it. Today we're starting things off a little bit differently, not too much. Well, actually, kind of the whole thing is backwards. Today I'm starting with the background first, actually. Yep, that's right, we're switching it up, baby. But, you know, the motivation is basically just for the sake of switching it up a little bit. And to be quite honest, man, putting in that flat color like is much more tedious to me than all of the detail in, you know, the figure and all that stuff. So today I wanted to try and just kind of get that part out of the way first, you know, and then doing all of the little outline and all that stuff to me is, you know, it's just kind of like, it's just a matter of getting it done. And so for some reason, to me, that's just a very tedious thing to do. So I started with the background first today. Of course, I got my colors mixed up. just like I have been doing, but this time I did leave a little bit more to mix on the fly, like the colors of the head, especially because there was a lot of different little color groups today in this piece. So I started again just with the background, got that knocked in, and then from there started laying in the rest of the figure. What I did not anticipate, however, and probably the reason that I started doing the background last, is that it gives me like absolutely no place to rest my hand. And right now you'll see my solution to that. I started here just with the darks of the figure first, the hair. And I decided to just do the head first because for me that is the most difficult part of the figure, especially because all the details, as you can see, like the features, everything is just so freaking tiny. And I'm just resting my hand right on the white canvas of the shirt. And that is working for now, but it's not a good solution for the rest of the painting, especially once I start filling more of it in. And so my solution was to grab this big roll of cardboard that I had, that's the decor for the canvas that I use, and I used that as a sort of like improvised maul stick. And a maul stick is basically just a drawing tool, and it's a long kind of stick thing with a little cushion pouch at the end of it, so you can rest it up against the surface of your painting and not damage it. And so I'm just using that to rest my hand and give me a little bit of distance, as well as just, again, somewhere to rest. With this one, man, you can see the colors here are very, very warm. I'm using pretty much like straight orange as most of the flesh tone. And it's just another one of those things where when you're mixing each of these colors in isolation, you're like, man, how the hell is this going to make sense on canvas? This is like orange. How is this going to look like a man and not like a Cheeto or something, And so weirdly, it just always works, man. Like it always works. And it's just basically the temperature of the thing, and it's just kind of one of those magic little things about painting that's also can be a little bit frustrating. But I would say, if you're having trouble with that, make it a point to not second guess your mixtures and just put them on. And then if you have to make adjustments after that, go ahead. But a lot of the times you will find that if you're mixing your value correctly and you're mixing your temperature, everything is just going to fall in line pretty simply. Regarding the fabric on this one, the last piece, had a pretty good detailed kind of drapery or fabric around the shirt and stuff, or the dress. And so with this one, I decided to, have it a little bit looser, just, for a bit of contrast in between each piece. I just put in the little Wilson logo. Now that I'm doing the narration, I'm realizing that I did forget something on this piece before I photographed it. I forgot the little Nike logo on his shirt. And I'm just realizing that right now. So tomorrow what I'm gonna do first thing in the morning is paint the little Nike logo on his shirt and then re-photograph the piece. And so again, you can see that most of everything that I was doing is basically backwards. I started with the background, now I'm, then the figure. Now I'm doing the stripes, which was kind of one of the last steps normally, but it's just kind of chunked somewhere in the middle here. I used AI, Photoshop's AI, to expand the canvas field because originally it was a very tight crop, and you can see that it doesn't really make sense. It just kind of expands the field exponentially. It doesn't really give you a net or anything, and I kind of like that. I like that kind of clunky error that it makes, and it just makes it look like this very vast kind of space that he's playing tennis in, almost like a void. And I feel like it sort of adds to the kind of absurdity of the whole scene. The point is just kind of to hit the cat as kind of hard as you can. And so here we are with the B-roll. It's kind of snuck up on me a little bit quicker than I had anticipated. You can see the cat just got a nice blur to it, which I did manually this time. I did not go in and do an airbrush. I wanted to keep this one all just regular brush. Here you can see some of the details of the face. Came out really beautifully, I feel. And there's just the hand blurring of the cat. So this one went by, pretty quickly, and but I think personally this is one of my favorites in the series that I'm working on now. So again, tomorrow I have a little bit of touch-ups to do regarding the shirt, but that's it, and I'm very happy with this piece. And as always, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time and your attention.